Hey, good morning, guys. Well, it's 3:45 there. It is 5:30 a.m. here, so you guys have just gotten the cherubs to class. I am in California, out near San Francisco. We are actually in Napa Valley today and yesterday. Tomorrow, we are driving about an hour and a half south to Cupertino. Touring a couple of schools yesterday and today. We went to Napa Valley High yesterday. They had a shooting across the street a couple of weeks ago. We're in lockdown most of the day, very high at risk population. Uh, Campus is dead in the middle of town. They've probably got 15 or 20 eating establishments across the road from the school in every direction. So they are dealing with the same issues in a lot of circumstances that we are. Asking the principal, what are your biggest problems? And she said, keeping kids on campus. And then when the late bell rang about 10 minutes after that, there were probably 400 of their 1,800 kids that were not to class yet. So a lot of the same qualities and characteristics that we deal with on a daily basis. Um, Instructionally, we went into some core classes, and I'm proud to say they need to come visit us. We're doing a lot of things much better than they're doing it in the classroom, using technology with um, much more purpose and not just as a digital device to do a digital worksheet with. I saw a lot of that with them yesterday. Engagement looks a lot of the same. Their students, for the most part, are not very intrinsically motivated. Some of the same issues that we deal with there. But I still think our instruction is we're better along than they are. We're doing a lot of good things, and they could come take notes at our place. They had an advanced manufacturing and engineering program, robotics, metals manufacturing. We toured that facility. It's about 5 or 6 years old. Facility wise, we have two times the equipment, two times the space that they have. Um, from an advanced manufacturing and robotics program standpoint, we've got, I believe, better educators in those areas than they do. Um, Metals manufacturing, we will have a much larger, probably times four what their facility is. We will have more equipment. We're just in the middle of trying to find that right person that can teach that program. And once we have that, I think we're going to be in great shape. Um, was not super impressed with their apprenticeship or internship programs. Even though our program is in its infancy, I think that we're much further along than that. So I was pretty proud of the work that we've done. The Vex Robotics, I was talking to Mark about this yesterday when we were there. The Vex Robotics program that we use in our robotics, they use at the middle school. It's a little bit more elementary in nature. They signed with a company called First Robotics, which is sponsored by NASA, and that's going to be a next step for us. Much more legit equipment and much more detailed prompts for our kids to get challenged through. That'll be our next step with our robotics program. Talked to a couple people already to make that happen. NASA, with the right paperwork and basically a grant writing, which we've done a lot of, will sponsor the first couple years at 6,000 a year. And to get that NASA sponsorship is a big deal for the program as well. There are 3,600 of those programs worldwide. And so it's a fairly elite group, but that's when I was looking at the paperwork and what it takes to make that happen. I truly believe we can do that and do it rather quickly. So um, today we go to New Tech High. That's going to be a completely different clientele and much more of a charter-like status. Completely problems and challenge-based curriculum. They do no lecture. So I'm eager to see just what even that looks like in a school day. Very eager to see what those strategies look like, but also very realistic to know that we serve a much different clientele than they have, and so I've got to be very careful about what I get excited about in that school. because things may not transition over to SHS the way I would wish or hope maybe that they could. So still going to go in with an open mind and see what we can glean from what they do and how they do it. See if we can steal anything that would work and make us even better than where we're at. Tomorrow we are headed to Cupertino, about an hour and a half south. We'll be touring Stanford, talking to some of their more progressive education professors about transitional education, what it skills we need to be providing students in 2018 and beyond. And they're going to be picking our brains a little bit too, because we are a pretty innovative program. And then we will be going to the Apple headquarters on Thursday to meet with Apple's global education team. Most of the time is spent with them just in open roundtable discussions about their product and how we use it, how they can help us use it better, what kind of professional development that we need to do what we do better, and then what improvements they need to make in terms of support and actual device in the classroom. So that'll be a neat discussion. Then we fly back on Friday. I'll see you guys Monday morning. Couple things I want you to really, department chairs in particular, I want you to think about our data room and how we're using data in the building. I am the first to say that my vision for that room and how that aligns with practical use for you may not have aligned. So what I would like to do is I'd like you to think about that room as a PLC room where you guys will be meeting and discussing your various content areas. How can we design that room for you? How can we make it a practical use area? Pre and post assessments are not going anywhere. The data that we pull off of those when it's done right is invaluable to designing quality work for students, and I wholeheartedly believe in that and will stick with that. Even if I get pullback from our teachers, that's not something I'm willing to waver on. But if the actual boards, the actual room, the actual setup needs to be different for you guys to be able to use it with a little more fidelity and to be comfortable going in there and putting your information on the board, I'm willing to do that. So I want the department chairs to be talking with their departments on what that would look like. If you had an area in there for science, math, history, social studies, CTE, so on and so forth, what would you want it to look like, and how could we make that space more user friendly for you? So be thinking about those things. Also, want you to think about what challenge-based activities or problem-based activities that you can provide in your classroom. We have coming up in April a community PBL workshop at Horizons, and I need a couple of teams in the building, student teams, to go and present their projects to represent Salisbury High School. So if you are looking at a problem-based activity and you've got some kids that are doing some good work there, I need to have a conversation with you. Last but not least, Dr. Taylor is going to share with you some data from first semester, NCFE and EOCs, basically the work that we've done and how it compares to some other schools. We have been behind in most all of the areas that are tested in comparison to most schools. Pretty much my entire time there, and some even before that. I think you're going to be really happy about what you see when she shows you this information. You guys are doing great work, and it's starting to show. We're starting to see some growth. So really want you to take those numbers in. We will share those with you in the spreadsheet. The growth that we've seen in English 2, all across English. English 4 knocked it out of the park. Physical science. Um, Biology is pretty hard to judge because we've just got a couple of honors classes. We got several standard classes this semester, but we're off to a great start. Math 1 has increased dramatically. And so, not interested in test scores in the bottom line as much as I'm interested in the growth that we're making. And, I've told you from the beginning, our overall goal for the year is to meet growth. Exceed growth would be great, but overall is to meet growth this year. And so I feel like looking at the numbers and really breaking things down that we're on the right track to do that. But we've got a lot of hard work to do to finish this thing out over the next 13, 14 weeks. Because we've got a lot more standard classes this semester that we're teaching in the 45s that'll be testing at the end of the year. So just kind of want to give you an update of what's going on. Tell you guys I miss you. I'm ready to get back. And I will kind of do a debrief with you guys next week when I get back in town. But I'm proud of what we're doing and what I've seen thus far. We're ahead of the game. And so you should take pride in that. Have a great day.